We saw him in this glass cage that defendants are often kept in Russian courtrooms with pretty deep marks from handcuffs, presumably from handcuffs, in his wrists. It's a letter to Lavrov, the foreign minister, who actually every year would have meetings with journalists at the foreign ministry. Times have obviously changed since then, but Lavrov, I think, as a man at least, has shown that he does communicate with journalists. The foreign ministry does care about journalists because they accredit them.
Yeah.
So I think as a recipient of this letter, he's maybe much better than many other officials.
And it keeps up the pressure and it keeps it in the headlines. What do we know about how Evan's doing? Have we heard from him recently?
Last time we saw him, in fact, the first time we saw him publicly since his arrest was last week at his hearing. A judge extended his pre-trial detention, which can last for up to 18 months, especially when the charges are as serious as espionage. We saw him in this glass cage that defendants are often kept in Russian courtrooms with pretty deep marks from handcuffs, presumably from handcuffs, in his wrists. But what we know from his conditions in jail is that, they're better than I think many other defendants might be subjected to. He gets, an hour a day to exercise. He gets to read, take books out of the prison library, and he's getting care packages from his friends and colleagues. So, it could be much worse, but of course, he's in jail.
He's still in jail, yeah. Just finally, what's the timescale on this? When is this trial that Russia's insisting on? Do we know when that might even start?
We don't know when the trial will start. Under Russian law, a defendant can be kept in pre-trial detention with no trial for up to 18 months. But really, even that can be tweaked if investigators want to continue investigating the case. In the case of Paul Whelan, who was an American arrested, is also on espionage charges and is still in jail in Russia, the trial didn't start until about 15 months after his arrest and lasted less than 3 months until he was convicted. So it could take a long time.